come in. Good evening, everybody. It's nice to see the names again of everybody, and I think some of us were together for lunch today too. We were doing a brown bag lunch today as well. So we have lots of people signed up for this, so we will give them an extra couple of minutes to come in as usual. And we have Carole here in the middle of the night in Paris, or not in Paris, but in France, in Champagne. And I'm here with my Magnum. So, and it's signed by you, Carole.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's
great.
really cool. Really cool. And I've got my ratafia here as well, which I haven't opened. I'm hoarding it for Christmas. So we'll just, again, give it a couple of minutes, let people come in, and then we'll get started with the tasting. And it's lovely to see you, Carole, after so long. Carole came to Canada, and we did an event together in Toronto, and then we went to Calgary and did one out there together as well. So
it was amazing.
That was so much fun, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
well,
yes.
We'll do that again.
Yes, it was my last trip.
Yeah, isn't that? Who would have thought that that was the last trip we'd have for years, right? It's crazy.
Incredible. I did few trips in September, just in Germany and in Denmark, and now it's again everything closed. One time in Italy, but Canada was just amazing. Just amazing. I can see.
You got to go to the far north, didn't you? You went to the Northwest Territories, didn't you?
Wow, yes, it was wow. And when I see some, how you call it, the light in the sky.
Oh, the northern lights. Yes, you got the aurora borealis.
I miss it, so I need to return there.
That's a date. You come whenever you're ready.
I'm in Yellowknife.
Yes, and we already have our first question, Carole. What glassware do you prefer? Do you like flutes or do you like le coupe?
Me, yeah. I like this sort of flute. They are making by James d'Arsonville. It's something like for the wine. These are also very nice, but you see my nose, I need space. And I like to smell the wine. So I have this sort of flute, or I have also this one, and they are also very, very, very interesting.
And the wine or the glass maker actually puts a little imperfection in the middle, don't they? So that the bubbles have a place to start, and it gets the bubbles to start coming up. Is that right, Carole? Yeah.
Exactly. For me, the coupe is beautiful, but you cannot move the wine, so you cannot have the flavor of the wine. For me, the important is the glass with a little bit close, because my champagne are on the freshness. So that's for me nice. But if you have an old vintage, you can have a glass which is a little bit more open.
Okay. And then also you have to drink so fast with the coupe, or else you lose all the bubbles, right?
Exactly. But if you have a glass and if you have champagne on it, that's wonderful.
Yes, that's right. Well, I think we will get started, and I don't think that Carole needs introduction to Opinion members. I think we've seen a lot of her, and so. But Carole Doyard is our champagne maker in Champagne, and we are the exclusive distributors of her champagnes in Canada. And we organized this to thank people who ordered the wine last time, and we wanted to have tasting in person with Carole. So thank you, Carole, for doing this. It is what, 11 o'clock at night for you, isn't it?
Oh, just the beginning of the night.
Yes. So,
before party.
So I think we're going to go through each of the wines that will be offered in the offering coming up on February 25th.
Yeah, so, why not? We can do that. I don't know if everybody completely know me. I can do just a little bit introduction for some people who just bought the champagne, but they don't know from where
absolutely, please.
So all about you. Just a small introduction. So I'm Carole Doyard from the Chardonnay area. The Chardonnay area, it's in La Côte des Blancs. La Côte des Blancs, it's 50 kilometers in the south of Reims. Reims, it's 150 kilometers in the east of Paris. I'm just looking if I have a map around here. Sorry, I go to take a map. So you can see up, you have in the north Reims, and 50 kilometers in the south of Reims, you have La Côte des Blancs. It's 20 kilometers. And in this part, we are making champagne with Chardonnay. In this part, it's more Pinot Meunier. And in the north around Reims, it's more Pinot Noir. Me, I'm coming from Vertu. It's a village in Premier Cru Classé. So it's the reason why in all of my bottle, you can read Premier Cru, because it's coming from Premier Cru village. There is only 44 villages in Premier Cru, 17 in Grand Cru, and 250, approximately 269 exactly, village with only cru. So I'm very lucky to be in this part of the Champagne area. I am the third generation. Who is living in this area in Le Moulin d'Argençol, and the fourth generation after my great-grandfather. But I think you know him. You see him on each caps, because we are very proud of what he done, because he also created the IVC in 1941. So you know my great-grandfather, Maurice Doyard. My grandfather bought the house, the property, and built the press with the stainless steel. We do that, and we say that. Mm-hmm. And my father started to vinificate the 50,000 bottle. And me now, I'm taking care about the vineyard, the vinification, and the export. So tonight, I'm going to present you the quality that you bought last year and the new one you're going to see this year.
Wonderful.
If you have some question, do not hesitate. I cannot see
and I'll watch the chat for you, Carole, and I'll ask questions as they come in. Carole Como says hello from Montreal.
Yeah, but Carl, we see each other in Facebook, in the social media, and that's so nice to have some news and to have sometimes some messenger. That's great. I love that. It's remember me how many great time I get in these different town with you, Michael, with Colette also, and with Anaïs, and with the whole team also in Victoria. That was wonderful.
Yeah. And we will do it again.
Yes.
Oh, and we should say, Carole, that if everything goes well with COVID, that we're planning a trip in May for Opinion members exclusively, and we're going to come and see you. So keep an eye out for that. We'll have some details on that just after Christmas. So let's fingers crossed that we get to come.
Yes. I plan to receive you in the vineyards and to do some nice tasting about also the vin clair, the still wine, because in this period, for example, we can think that nothing is happening, but there is many things to do in the vinification, because there was the first fermentation alcoholic, and I did the soutirage after the fermentation alcoholic. And after that, we get the fermentation malolactic. And last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I was doing also some soutirage. So entering in the stainless tank, and steel tank, and cleaning it, because there is acid tartric, which is a natural things in the wine, l'acid tartric. So we spent 1 week in the stainless steel, and I was very happy when my father was bringing me, you know what? Because when you get cold and you want a little bit warm because you are completely wet in the stainless tank, when you go out and you have a glass of ratafia, that's just wonderful. That's just wonderful.
Lovely.
Control quality all the time.
Yes, that's right. Good for you.
So let's present the different cuvées. So and a little bit different changing of the cuvée empreinte. So just to remember you, this cuvée empreinte is one of my favorite cuvée because it's very fresh, very aperitif champagne. It can also goes very well with some fish, with some crustacea. It's very floral, very mineral. This cuvée is a blend of different years. Approximately 55% of 1 year and 45% of different year, just to get the signature of the house. This cuvée is the photo of my all vineyards in Vertu. Me, I have 6 hectares in Vertu Premier Cru, and I use approximately all of the parcel in this cuvée. So it's a cuvée empreinte. You can have it if you are alone in a small bottle.
Right.
If you are 1.5 in just bottle size. And as you show us, Michael, in Magnum,
Yes.
if you are
Fantastic.
more than 2 persons. That's wonderful size.
Looking forward to it. And we are offering the 375 this year. I'll tell everybody that come February, they'll be able to order the 375s. So that's people love that format.
Yeah. And this is the champagne that I have in my glass. So it's a cuvée empreinte. Here it's 11:15, and it's a wonderful time to have a glass of champagne. Maybe you notice also this. Oh, I love this noise. So you can see HVE and VDC. It's 2 certifications that I start in March. Just before the COVID, I get these 2 certifications. That means I really take care about the environment and about the all things that I do in the vineyard. And if you follow me a little bit in the social media, even if I'm not very active because it's taking time, but I try a little
You do well.
Thank you, Michael. I try a little bit some new experiments, like some copper. I put some cereal in the vineyards just to have some big cereal at 1.75 meters. Like that, I put it down on the floor. It's making a copper. Like that, I don't enter with the tractor to destroy the grass who is coming. So it's a part also of the HVE and the VDC. And this year, just after the harvest, so they control you every 18 months. 18 months, you remember, it's very short time. In 99, when I was coming in Canada, I never thought that it would be my last trip. And now it's quite 2 years that we are in this situation. But I'm very happy because I control my quality and you continue to control the quality of my champagne.
Right.
And that's nice.
And Colette said that you can drink the whole Magnum yourself. She must have met you then. Yes.
You remember me very well. No, I think Magnum is nice if you are 2, and
Yes.
if you do you 2 or 4, and if you do the whole dinner, if you have some crustacea, if you have some oyster, the Magnum size go very well, and you don't lose time to find another bottle and to remember if it has been on the freezer or not. So it's a very good size, the Magnum. But also the small bottle is very easy to open if you are only 2, and because like that you are not obliged to use a cork, because the cork is can getting the bubbles, but only for 1 day. So it's better to open 2 small bottles rather than one big one bottle and let it open for 1 week in the fridge, because you're going to lose the bubbles. And it's pity if you're losing the bubbles, because I'm doing a big job to have the bubbles.
Get the bubbles in there. That's right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
There, and Pierre in Yellowknife says hello. And it's even colder now, minus 36. Can you imagine? Wow.
Wow. Yellowknife. I all the time look at the wonderful picture I did, and with the dogs on the lake. For me, it has been amazing to live there, and to have wonderful time there, and to have this wonderful atmosphere, even if it's very, very cold.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In Yellowknife, wonderful, wonderful time. The second quality is the cuvée Désir. So empreinte is the signature of the whole parcel. Désir, it's a special blend, because in the cuvée Désir there is 50% of the old vineyards. I have 2 vineyards which are 70 years old. So 50% of the old vineyards and 50% of the cuvée empreinte. Just to explain you this quality, I make only 6,000 bottles, because I don't have a lot of my old vineyards, you can imagine. And I do approximately 30,000 bottles of the cuvée empreinte. Désir, I call it Désir because it was a desire of mine to have a champagne with a little bit more character. Désir, it's an extra brut, so that means a little bit less sugar, less dosage in it, but with more complexity because of the whole vineyard. So the maturation was higher, the grapes are smaller, so I have more character first in the vin clair, and I find it in this cuvée. This cuvée is great for the summertime, or with some oyster, with some plate like the Ville, for example, can go also very well in some scallops, some cooking a bit more walking like you can do, Michael, all the time. So you have the chef and you have my champagne.
And you know, it is a cliche that champagne pairs with everything. And I really have tried it with everything, and I've never found a poor pairing for it. I just enjoy it. That's why I have none left except my Magnum. So that's, and just like I've had it, you know, even with Indian food, I've had the champagne, and I thought it paired beautifully. It really it cuts through the butteriness and even the heat sometimes. So I just really enjoy it. Yeah, that's all. I've got a big order for you this year, because I made the mistake of only ordering 1 case of each last year, so I won't make that mistake again.
It's incredible how when you start to have a bottle or a glass of champagne at the aperitif, and you want to do the full dinner or full dishes with it, it's easier and it's very pleasant, and but we also need place for the other wine, so let's do party when we can with the cuvée Désir. So all the time you have you remember you have the whole information on the back label. I know in Canada I do a special back label because there is a lot of obligation, but I really try to explain you what I have in the bottles. And if you have just a request or not a dupe, but yeah, a request or one other thing that you want to ask me, do not hesitate to send me like Carole do sometimes.
Yes. Yes, you're always open for questions. It's excellent.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Sometime I'm taking a little bit time, but I'm here. For the rosé, I have just a little bit a new label, just the color of the aim is a bit more red, like the color of my rosé. And I explain you, my printer is in Chassagne-Montrachet. So sometimes I need excuse to go there. You know Chassagne-Montrachet?
Yes.
In Burgundy.
Yes, lovely wines.
Yeah, exactly. And I write Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. Just to remember, this rosé is a blend of 88% of Chardonnay and 12% of Pinot Noir. You know that there is some rosé are making only with Pinot Noir or Pinot Meunier, it's maceration. In my rosé, you have the freshness of the Chardonnay. So the rosé is the cuvée empreinte with my Pinot Noir. My Pinot Noir is very dark, very red color, because I do it with a very old parcel, my grandparents' plant, and I have very few quantity. I have more skin than juice. So it's the reason why it's also very dark Pinot Noir. So even if I had only 12%, I have very red rosé. And also in the glass, control quality.
That's so beautiful.
You can see. And the rosé goes very well on the aperitif, but also with some dessert, with not a lot of sugar. It's very red fruity noise, very strawberry, raspberry, and a lot of flowers, like la violetta, the small violetta.
What's the grams per liter sugar on that? Do you know?
10.
10. So very little. Yeah.
They are brut. It's not so little, but my champagne are quite young because they have 2 years on the yeast. They are on the freshness. And if I do a comparison, we say that to compare with the Cuvée Désir, which are 1 year older, it's also the reason why I can also do a small dosage.
Right, and Robert said he's going to be trying the rosé in the upcoming offering for sure. So I can attest that it is delicious.
It's very, it is, it is. And also with some, the lamb can go also very well with some lamb, un carré d'agneau.
Oh, isn't that
Un carré d'agneau, it can go very well. In some, also during the summertime when you do the barbecue, it goes very well with this sort of meat, which is very, very cooked, just a little bit.
Lovely.
And so this all cuvée, you know them a little bit. So freshness for the cuvée empreinte, freshness and red fruity noise for the rosé, a little bit more complexity on the cuvée désir, and there is a new selection. Mixed case, it's not possible. I'm very sorry, Pierre. I have a new selection. It's the Cuvée Vintage from 2013.
Wow.
So last year, you know, when I have some vintage, sometimes they don't come naturally by the oldest. It depends if the wine is ready or it's not ready. Last year, you get the 2014. This year, we propose you the 2013. We did a very small dosage, so it will be written on the back label. It's an extra brut, but for this cuvée, I did a very special dosage for the Opimian wine group. It was an experimentation that we did with Jane, because I think it was very interesting to do a small dosage, and she loved it. She loved it.
Oh,
and she
wonderful.
proposed the 2013 in extra brut. 2013 is very very complex and very round champagne at the nose, and with a lot of freshness in the mouth, because there is only this 4-gram dosage. So in the nose, you have some like honey note, very gourmandise, brioche, but it's only not. It's not a very full body champagne, round champagne and heavy champagne. It's some note like a partition. So it's very, very interesting, the 2013. I'm very happy about this champagne. So the vintage, of course, is for very special event, or Christmas, like a special dinner with some or foie gras, or some crustacea, very, very special, very round. It's very, very pleasant champagne.
So talk a little bit
for Christmas.
Sorry, talk a little bit more about the less dosage. So that's less sugar you're putting in. Does it also affect how much carbonation, or only the residual sugar?
It's only the residual sugar. No, I had 4-gram dosage. So me, when I do the fermentation in bottles, usually I do not have residual sugar. I do all the time some analysis, and in the cellar that I have downstairs from the house, I have a very constant temperature. It's taking approximately 5-6 weeks for the fermentation alcoholic, and usually I do not have residual sugar. So the 4 grams, it's the grams, the sugar that I add during the disgorging.
Right, and then, but isn't that what creates the carbonation in that secondary fermentation? So if you put less dosage, does it still have enough to get the carbonation up to the same level in the secondary? Oh, I'm confusing. I probably got it wrong. That's
because just remember, I have the first fermentation in tank.
Yes, and then it's still, the wine is still. Yes.
After that, I add the 24 gram by 44 gram of sugar by liter. Is for the fermentation in bottles, and I add also the yeast. The yeast eats the sugar. Just a minute. I go to take 1 bottle to show you.
Perfect. Bear with us, everyone. I hope you're enjoying learning about this as much as I am.
I have a pupitre in my tasting room, so you can see. Oh no, yes, you can see it.
Where?
Okay, so here there is the yeast. The yeast has been eating the 24 gram of sugar, so it's making a deposit. And after that, the whole bottles. So for the magnum, I put the whole magnum in pupitre. I do the riddling manually every day for 30 days. And after the riddling, so the deposit, so you can see, if I move,
right?
You see?
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
The deposit is going to go on the neck. There is no sugar right now in the bottle because the sugar has been eaten by the yeast. I do disgorging So I open the bottles with the caps, and after that, I'm going to add the sugar. Is the sugar after the disgorging. So 0 to 6 until 12 grams, it can be brut. If it's between 0 and 6 grams, it's extra brut. So the 4 grams that I add in the cuvée vintage 2013 and in the cuvée désir is the sugar after the disgorging. We call it liqueur d'expédition.
Okay.
There is the liqueur de tirage, the 24 grams, just to make the fermentation in bottles. And there is a liqueur d'expédition after the disgorging to give the well balance of the champagne. This well balance, it's like a punctuation in a sentence. If I tried to put 0 dosage in this cuvée, it doesn't go because it's not enough old vineyards, maybe, or the well balance was not there. And I don't like something that I really don't like in the champagne is the bitter. You know, when you have it there and you oh no. So this program gives this well balance.
Oh, very good. And so Carole was asking, I think Robert's answered, but he's been buying the Désir since you started making it or since you started offering it to us. And should he do a vertical of that? Hold on to a few and then do a full flight?
Sorry, I beg your
So
pardon?
he's got Désir that he's bought from several years going.
Yes.
And
yes.
is that, would that be something you would do a vertical tasting with, do several years together of the Désir, or are you trying to make them taste the same each year nonetheless?
No,
because it's non-vintage.
I try with the Désir to make the same each year with the, of course, with the vin clair that I have. So maybe there will be a difference. But if he has been buying some Cuvée Désir, the EB before the Extra Brut label 3 years ago, and if he compare with a bottle that he bought last year, of course, it will be completely different, Carl, because the one you bought 3 years ago is more older than the one you bought last year. But normally, I will say, I don't know if it's normally or another word, but the cuvée which are not vintage, it's not cuvée to be keeping. It's some cuvée that you keep 2 years, 3 years maximum, because it's more on the freshness. If you want to keep some champagne, it because you have a great cellar, it's better to keep it in vintage. And if you want to keep it more than 3-5 years, it's better to have it in Magnum. Because, to explain you, because the size that you have, the oxygen that you have in the Magnum, in the Magnum size, it's exactly the same of the oxygen that you have in bottles. But the volume of the champagne is different. So there is more volume, so there will be a little bit less passage oxygen between the cork and the champagne rather than in the bottle. So that means in a bottle, it gets older quicker than in the Magnum. I am clear or not?
Understood. Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
And,
for sure.
Carole
not
says
because you're polite, huh?
No. And Carole said that's what he was getting at about whether or not he should hold on to them. And I agree with you, Carole. It's hard to hold on to champagne anyway. So drink it up. But then again, vintage champagnes are different, where you can put them down and taste them at different stages of their development, right? With vintage champagne.
Yeah, vintage,
yes.
Vintage is different.
Yes.
Vintage is different because it gets older and it's not blend with reserve wine. So the reserve wine give also the complexity in the champagne. The the maturity of the champagne. And because it's a vintage, it's going to get older slowly. We say that? Doucement.
Slower. Yeah.
Slowly.
C'est bien.
And do not forget, it's quite midnight at home.
Wait, no, I understand completely. No, that's right.
So it's the reason why the vintage, you can keep it longer time. And be careful. Think also my bottle are transparent, clear bottle. They don't like the light, like potatoes. So you put it in the dark place. I have some transparent clear bottle is to show the color of the champagne, because I am a consumer, and if I see something, if I see a red dark wine, I expect something in the mouth. Maybe something sometimes it's wrong, but you expect something in the mouth. If you see a gold champagne in the bottle, you expect something on the maturity. If it's color very pale, like I have in the cuvée Empreinte, because it's younger, I will expect freshness. So it's the reason why the vintage are in transparent clear bottle. It's to show the robe du champagne, and it's very, very gold color, very, very gold. I love this one.
Dark, cool, and stable, where you store that, right? Dark, cool, and stable for storage of the vintage.
Exactly.
Yes. Very
exactly.
good.
Exactly.
All right. Well, if we don't have any other questions, anybody have any other questions for Carole? Oh, and you've got, we have the ratafia. We can take all the time you like. Yes, that's. I want to open mine so badly, but I think I'm going to wait. Yes, go ahead.
So, ratafia, you can drink it and you can storage it. My father, he had some friends last week, and he said, okay, we take the ratafia of your grandfather, Carole, with the foie gras. So you can have a very old ratafia, because it's gonna be more complex and more complex, but it's taking time with the ratafia because there is no gas. So, and it's not a wine, it's a liqueur. There is 18 degrees in the ratafia. You remember I do the ratafia with Pinot Noir and a little bit of Chardonnay with a small maceration. And after I add la fine de champagne. La fine de champagne, it's alcohol that we make with the distillation of the juice that they are not able to do champagne, the lattice juice. The lattice juice, it goes to the distillery. So I bring it in February to the distillery, and they give me an alcohol at 70 degrees. You can, after that, it goes in a Solera and 2 years in barrel. I was supposed to do a tirage and a bottling of the ratafia. It was 10 days ago, but this bottle were blocked between Italy and France. So my ratafia is now ready for the 8th of January to do the unbottling for going in Canada after.
Oh,
so
very
this
nice.
ratafia will be the blend of the year 2018 and 17, 16 until 2004. So it's a very big Solera because we add it every year. And after that, we put it in the barrel and we let it for 2 years. Ratafia, it goes with foie gras, but it goes very well with the cheese. And sincerely, I love it with the cheese because it's at the end of the dinner, of the repas. And like that, you don't expect to have a Chablis or a Burgundy or a wine from another region. after the foie gras, because the foie gras usually we have it in entrance. You call it like that, the first plate, entrance, no?
You mean
L'entrée.
entree?
L'entrée, oui, comment on dit?
L'entrée, yeah, so
No.
the appetizer.
Appetizer, yes.
Ouais.
So ratafia goes very well with the cheese, the strong cheese, and also with the cheese, comment on dit la capra? La chèvre.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
goat cheese.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
this one.
Oui.
If you have some honey, it's wonderful. And also with a dessert with chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Goes very well, the ratafia.
Very nice.
So,
And Pierre is asking about tips for storage and drinking. The drinking tips, I think, are there, Pierre. But storage, is it similar to any wine, right? You'd want it to be cool, dark, and stable. Yes.
yeah. And when you open the ratafia, you put it in the freezer, not in the freezer, on a frigidaire. Frigidaire.
In the fridge, yeah, oui.
In the fridge.
At 10 degrees centigrade, something like that. 10 degrees serving.
Ratafia, no problem. You
Yeah.
can drink it at 7-10 degrees. It's very easy drinkable. Be careful. When you open a bottle, the first time you say, okay, only 2 glasses. The second time you finish the bottle and you do a new world. And it's wonderful world without COVID, without sickness.
And Peter and Sandra are asking about a foie gras recipe. And like pan-seared foie gras is so like just cut off the liver, right? That to do pan-searing. Do you make it at home or do you only eat it in restaurants?
No, we make it at home. And last Saturday, my mother did it, the foie gras. It was cooked very al dente, and it was very, very nice. I am a very French woman. I love every foie gras. When you do like appetizer, when you cooked it and you put it in like rossini, or when you cut it and you put it on the piece and it's a little bit hard. I love every foie gras. Even if it's not cooked, very thin lamelle. It's wonderful. I have a problem with the food. I love food.
And Peter and Sandra, I often have it with a fig compote. Just do a plain seared foie gras and then a fig compote on the side, and my mouth is watering.
I bought it for Christmas.
Yeah.
When I come back for Spain, if I can come back from Spain, I do the 24 evening a small Christmas with some friends, and I bought the la figue, the compote de figue, and also we do it with la cipolla, l'oignon.
Onion. Yes.
Oignon, la compote d'oignon.
Yeah, and that's usually they're slow fried onions, right? They're really nice and brown.
Yes, you do it fried, exactly.
Yes, yeah, just lovely.
It's great.
Mouth's watering again. Well, that's great.
I'm so happy to see you. It's amazing. It's so nice memories. It's making very wow emotion.
Yeah, emotion. And I don't know if you remember in Toronto, we went to the distillery district for the Christmas market, but it was closed because the weather was so terrible. But there was still a few places. We went to the oyster bar and had champagne and oysters, and
that's wonderful. And also in Calgary, the tower.
Yes, you took me for dinner.
It was wonderful.
It's really great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We sure appreciate it. It's getting up to midnight for you, and so.
But now it's terrible because you make me enthusiastic and nervous, and I think I cannot sleep.
Oh, you'll have to finish that Magnum then.
Let's go party.
Yeah. And I can tell you that when she gets together with Anais, who's running the board today, they're out till the middle of the night, the two of them. Just I can't keep up with them, that's for sure. And Colette,
Hi,
you had a
Colette.
great
Hi,
time in
Pierre.
Ottawa with her too, didn't you? That's
Hi,
great.
Peter and
I
Sandra.
did. And to be clear, when I talked about finishing the Magnum, I meant by myself, not Carole. Although
Oh,
We do
okay.
together. We do
Run for
together,
my money.
Colette.
That's great.
We had also a great dinner in the restaurant. It was very cold also.
It was, and Carole got to try some really interesting Canadian wines.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Also,
I
yeah, I
can
remember.
imagine. Yes, that's great.
I remember some very great things. Maybe I'm gonna go to the wine shop and try to find wine just to have a nice memories also. Oh, thank you. Thank you, all
Wow,
of you, and have a
that's
nice
lovely.
Christmas. Take care. Take care,
Everyone.
all of you.
Joyeux
Cheers.
fêtes.
Merry
Cheers.
Christmas. We'll see you
Santé.
soon.
Cheers.
Okay.
Santé.
Bye,
Cheers.
everybody.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye, Pierre. Bye, Anaïs. Bye, Carl.
Bye.
Bye, Colette. Bye, Michael. Bye, Robert. Bye, Serge. Bye, Philippe. Bye, Suzanne. Bye, John.
Bye, Carole.
Thank you to have been there.
Joyous fate.
Bye-bye.